and you look at Donovan Mitchell and you look at the Eastern Conference player in Kawhi Leonard, unbelievable numbers. But what I love is you see one guy on the right who seems to kind of fit everywhere, right? And the guy on the left we're seeing find where he fits best. He knows he could take dudes down one-on-one, but I see a guy really trying to find a fit because we know, I mean, look, the IQ and the skills of the makeup are there for Mitchell.
Yeah, well, and this is his second year.
Yes.
So, you know, I remember my second year, you know, all that stuff that I was doing my first year, when people hadn't seen me that much, everything worked.
Dude, they still couldn't stop that. Come on.
No, but I came back my second year, and the first month of the season, I went to do my thing, and I remember Mo Cheeks like, nah, I ain't going for that move. You know, so
yeah,
I think what Mitchell has gone through this second time around, what he's going through is he's having to develop that third and fourth go-to move. We all have our first and second move, which is like our go-tos. But then the league and the coaches are so good, they take your first option and they take your second option away. So then you have to develop a third and a fourth. And where he's at right now, he's developed his third and fourth. And once he gets really good at those, then he'll be able to come back and really do his thing at 1 and 2.
The other thing, Zeke, is, and I'm curious how difficult this is, and if you notice this, is watching Jazz games, his knowledge of the rest of the floor is something you could tell he's working on and improving. Because he's never had an issue making moves and getting to the rack. But I think it was kind of finding himself, how can I make others better? Right? And not just with an assist, but in fighting off screens and making sure to outlet extra plays. You're seeing more. The hustle was never an issue, but how long does it take for you to really be comfortable at the NBA speed and level, understanding what's going on around you?
And this is where great coaching comes in. You know, when you look at Quinn Snyder and the relationship that he has with Mitchell and the trust factor that they have, that they've built, right? He can coach him, and he can not only coach him, but he can critique him, he can criticize him, and he can push him. And Mitchell will take that and learn from it, as opposed to thinking that this guy's trying to, he's trying to, diss me or whatever it is. I think Snyder has done a great job in coaching him. The fact that he's now aware of his second, third, fourth player options, as opposed to his first, second, third, fourth individual options. So when he comes off, his first read is, let me help somebody, right? Not let me get mine. His first year, he come off and let me get mine. Now he's coming off and he's saying, let me help you. Let me help you. Now I'll come back and get mine. And that makes a team so much more difficult to guard.
As Zeke, as a coach and as a point guard, which is really coaching the floor, you got to know the talent around you. They have players who can do specific things extremely well, but that team basketball's got to be there more for them, right, than if you're sitting there and you're Westbrook and Paul George. I'm not saying they don't play it and they play great team defense, but one guy can go take over a game. James Harden can go do it for the Rockets. Even though Mitchell can, how much more important does team basketball become specifically with the kind of roster they have?
Well, the battle for the individual player now is with himself and the stat sheet. So when I say with yourself, right? Yourself, you're judged by how I respond and how I play with you as a teammate. But I'm measured by the stat.
All right, Dwayne Casey hot about something. Probably the loss, among other things.
Yeah, Blake had a few choice words for the official also.
Yes. But the game went to the Jazz, 194. A couple of things to point out. Joe Ingles always seems, even if he has a big night, to make the big shot. And Kyle Korver has been monstrous. You heard the stat there. 2 threes made or more in his time with the Jazz at 12-1. And tonight, 19 off the bench.
He comes in and he does what he was brought there to do. Not only give them, great bench point production, but also to give them confidence and to settle that young team down when they get, kind of erratic. He comes in with that championship pedigree, with that old man sage, wisdom that he can give to the young players and say, hey, we're going to be all right. And he makes a shot and he does the right thing at the right time.
Old man sage, is that what you're bringing me on this side?
Yeah, old man sage.
All right, from old man sage to big man bulk.
Look, talked about the margin for error with this team, and when you're in some of these tight games, in your opinion, down the stretch, is there one thing that could have swung it the other way?
Yeah, I mean, we just got to be better. I got to be better. A couple turnovers, couple bad possessions. You can't really afford those things against a team like this. So, we just got to be a little bit sharper. But I like the way we came in and competed and fought tonight.
How much did the rebound disparity hurt? Jazz had 55 rebounds. Gobert had 25, matching his career high.
They did a good job on the boards. I think the thing that hurt worse was the free throw disparity. It's tough to beat somebody when you give them 18, 20 more free throws. Everything else other than that looked pretty even at one point in the game as far as three-point shooting, all that. It looked pretty even across the board. Obviously, rebounding didn't, but when they go to the free throw line 20 more times than us, it's we're going to be in a bit of a hole.
How much do they need to get Ish back now with that second unit?
A lot. He just changed the pace. Obviously, gives us another weapon, but just his speed. And ball handling. He does such a good job for us. I mean, we missed him a lot this past month or however long it's been. So we gladly welcome him back.
Did you get a sense earlier on that you guys were playing confident, playing free, and there was a little bit more?
Yeah, I thought we started the game the right way, and then we continued that for most of the game. Let it slip here and there, but like I said, I really liked our attitude, our competitiveness, and our edge tonight.
Curry went off for 48 and matched his season-high 11 three-pointers in a win over the Dallas Mavericks. Those 11, by the way, the most threes ever knocked down by a Mavericks opponent. So here's the scenario. Game on the line, you need a three to win. Who takes the shot? Our open court talent discuss.
Kenny Smith throws it across. Miller for three. Oh, he banked it in! He banked it in!
Hey everybody, Matt here with three of the most accomplished shooters in NBA history. 3D, Dennis Scott, Kenny Smith, the Hall of Famer Reggie Miller, and so of course...
This is a shooting show.
No, of course.
I was trying to figure out
I want to talk about shooting. One active player to take a game-winning shot, if you could choose, who is that guy?
Steph Curry. Or Kevin Durant, or LeBron James.
Curry saves it three. Steph Curry goes to the corner to shoot a three and hits to tie it up. Shot clock is off. James pull up for a three. Rainbow!
Any more?
To take a three to win a game.
I take all three of those. Even LeBron James, in terms of his ability to get it off, he'll get it off comfortably because of his size, strength, and ball handling ability. So he would get it off comfortably. He doesn't shoot with the same accuracy as those other two guys, but he gets a better comfort level at times than those two guys.
For me, active, if we're just trying to get a shot clock's going down, it's Kyrie Irving. His ball handling ability to be able to get to any spot on the floor and get his shot off, to your point, he's going to get his shot off. And he's one of the few point guards, well, there's a lot of point guards in the league, and can shoot the three.
Definitely guys that I probably would have picked, but if I'm going with someone with ice water in their veins, need a shot, I'm going with Dame Lillard. A guy that can create his own shot, or you can put him in a high pick and roll, shoots with depth, can shoot deep, and if you foul him, he's going to make foul shots.
Does the answer change for any of you if I say it's a catch and shoot three to win a game?
Klay Thompson.
Yeah. Catch and shoot, I would add Klay to the catch and shoot. Like, it swung back out to him. I would add Klay to that for sure.
It's funny, we were talking, James Harden.
Ooh, yes, to get a bucket, yes.
He could do.
Oh, my goodness, to get a bucket, yeah.
I mean, catch the dribble, off the dribble.
Off the dribble, he's great,
no question about it.
He gets to walk and shoot it. Yeah. So he gets he gets to do the running man.
I'll make it harder. Let's go back in history. Any player who's ever played to win a game with a three.
Oh, we're sitting right here.
Oh,
who are you picking?
No, there's a lot of guys.
No, I'm not. You could go last if you're not going to talk about yourself.
I'm gonna go with Larry Legend.
No.
To make a three. He said to make a three, right?
To make a three.
To make a three at the end of the game.
Celtics have got 3 seconds. Two. Bird, a runner. It's good!
I'm going with Larry Legend.
I'm going with the guy sitting here, only because the moment for Larry is always the moment. For Reggie, he creates more moments, meaning he's looking for an opportunity. I think at times you hope we get down 3. You know, so there's a difference. But Larry's like, no, I'm not even going to let you get up. I'm going to beat you. He's waiting for that moment. And so for me, watching Reggie over the years, I would have to say Reggie would be the guy I would be. Like,
good looking. No,
yeah.
But and taking it a step further, with Larry, as much as we, love his shooting, he's not going to get open in that situation. Where you, and I'm going to throw Ray Allen into the mix, both of you guys are going to get open because you're probably the best running without the basketball, running off screens and getting open.
Now,
Now,
I'm going to put Larry second, though. I wasn't like,
Kenny, Larry's third. Ray Allen's above him. Well, come on now. Those
But
Ray
you know
Allen
what?
and Reggie Miller, we need a 3. Larry's not getting open. Him and Ray are getting open to get that 3 off.
Rebound Bosh. Back out to Allen. His three-pointer. Bang!
There's a guy that I would want to be in this mix because he's the leading three-point shooter in the history of playoffs over certain attempts. You know who that guy is, right?
Kenny the Jet Smith.
You know.
I was waiting for that.
You look at
That leads to my next question. You may have already answered it, but if in a theoretical world where I could play and I had to choose one of the 3 of you to win a game of the 3, where am I going?
We're all going to pick ourselves. That's how confident we. I mean, in all of our careers that we've all hit game winners, we've all hit buzzer beaters, so we know we can do it. So if you're asking openly, I want to, as much as I love both these guys, I want to take that shot first.
I would honestly say that these guys were better three-point shooters in this regard. That was such a big part of their diet. And for me, it became a part of my diet later on. But I had to learn to be that. It is, like Reggie Miller, we played at UCLA in Pauley Pavilion and in North Carolina. We were like, guard him from here.
Right.
That didn't come into my life until about my 4th year in the NBA. It was always part of Dennis Scott's repertoire, a steady part of that diet, the long ball shot. I was catching up with you all the time.
Right.
Now, I just still think I can shoot the ball. But I just know that you guys it was a better diet.
We all have different strengths at different times, but at the end of a game, to a man, we're all going to say, put the ball in our hands. Kenny wants those shots.
Yeah, one of the
Kenny
biggest
wants those shots.
one of the
I
biggest
always wanted
moments.
those shots.
Yeah.
We were actually in the biggest moments in Rocket and Orlando basketball history. Hit a three-pointer to tie the game to send it to overtime in the NBA Finals. But before that, this dude, he comes back and hits another one. Back to back.
Yep.
It was him and I.
You haven't made my job any easier.
Well, hey, how about this? Who are you going to pick? If your life depended on it and your family's life depended on it, and they need a 3 to get them out. Come on, man.
I will answer the question. I've got bad news for you and my family. I turned it over before I ever got it.
I will tell you this. If you,
I'm sitting here and not there.
if you gave it to any of us, your family lives.
That's a tough question. One shot, game's on the line. We won't go life is on the line like they did, but who are you? Who are you picking to knock down the 3?
Oh, they talked about him. Taking Larry. Larry Bird. I've seen it happen too many times to think it's coincidence.
Yeah.
And, Dennis was talking about Larry not getting open. That could not be farther from what would happen. Larry had an unbelievable ability to make big shots, first of all. He's 6'9" and unbelievably strong, so he could shoot that ball turning any sideways. It was a flick of the wrist for him. Plus, he had an unbelievable basketball IQ. The harder you chased him, the more he used that to his advantage. He'd stop and go, give you a little shove. He got open as well as anybody could get open. Now, he didn't get open in today's way of just sprinting around. He got open with stop and start and stop and start. So, believe me, he would have got the ball. I've seen him make a ton of shots, and I tell you, I've often said this. Had Larry actually started taking 200 threes a day in practice like they do now, I have no idea what he would shoot. Larry shot 5, 10, 15 threes at the end of practice. It's all anybody shot back then. Because, Mike, the 3 wasn't a big part of it. These guys today shoot 200, 250, 300 threes after practice just working on that shot.
Imagine if he had been doing that all of that time.
Yes.
Right. goodness.
You know, having coached 3 different organizations, my best three-point shooters going back, Mark Price, Mike Miller, Wesley Person, that played for me. When you look at the top ones, Larry was definitely in there, along with Reggie Miller, along with Ray Allen, and you have to put Steph Curry in there.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, those are, to me, your top ones.
All right. Well, after the break, Game Time is going to continue with a look ahead to Tuesday night and players only, baby. Since we just showed you Dennis Scott, got to pay tribute. Jimmy Butler and the Sixers are hosting his former Timberwolves team, and we're going to be right back.